Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Episode number 399, Drink Until You Podcast, the only podcast that lasts until the last drop. How the hell is your Sunday going? How the hell was your week? Hope everybody's okay. I hope you're safe out there. I'm watching a little bit of this Cowboys-Giants game here on a beautiful Sunday. I'm drinking basically my version of a White Russian, which is just vodka, half and half, and the coffee I like to brew in the morning. And you got to go French press, too. You know, I don't do that, however you pronounce the name, Keurig, the K-Cups. I don't do those at home. I don't have the coffee pot where you can make a mass amount. I love the French press, dude. So, yeah, my version of a White Russian. That's what I'm drinking today here, watching my... my team's not doing horrible, but let's go ahead and have our first drink. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. All right. What a great weekend. I really needed this one, man. I really needed this weekend to just blow off some steam, have some fun with some friends. One of my best friends, Sid Vicious, Sydney, came over Friday. We had a great time. Came over Saturday. Had another great time. And the thing about me and Sid, I think I've said this before on the podcast, is like no matter what event me and Sid go to with the crew, you know, whoever can show up, whoever decides to show up, Me and Sid are like the closers of the group. That's what I call us, you know, like when everybody's like, you know, oh, that was a fun time at fill in the blank, you know, I got to go home now, you know, see you later, have a good night, you know, thanks for coming out, whatever. It's always me and Sid. I mean, we're staying till the bar is closed down. You know, we're when we drove to Austin to see MXPX, I mean, we do it both ways. We were there so early for like sound check. We got to meet one of the guitar players from MXPX, Chris. And it's just like I love it. I love that we close the party down every single time. And you know what? Out of all of my friends, Sid Vicious, just one of the people who are probably mostly always going to be down to go have a good time. And I love that, man. I know we all have busy lives and stuff, and you can't always make it work, but it's cool to, you know, have that consistent friend. But yeah, that next morning, dude, after Friday night, she came and hung out. We watched, you know, some sports, whatever was on, and goofed off pretty much. Oh, I got to tell you guys this too. I broke the golden rule. I did my golden rule. I did go out and buy a pack of cigarettes, which is like the biggest no-no I can do. Because as long as I don't buy them, you know, if I'm hanging out with a friend or something and they offer me one in passing, you know, I'll light one up real quick. But as long as I don't buy a pack, I'm good. Because then they're not sitting at home, you know, out on the patio, and then it's like, you know, you're just looking at them sitting out back, and you're like, well, I might as well, you know, smoke a cigarette. As long as I don't buy a pack, I'm good. But I did break that golden rule Friday. It was just one of those Fridays where it was just like, you know, you need to blow off some steam. You're like, fuck it. You know, I got friends coming to hang out. And so, yeah, I did buy a pack of cigarettes. I'm not thrilled with it. And I'm telling myself that when this one's gone, I'm not stopping by the store again to buy another one. Luckily, I don't have an addictive personality, so, I mean, I can really put the cigarettes down at any time. I guess just the thing about it is not making them accessible to myself is my biggest thing. But not in mass quantities anyway. But anyways, so yeah, she came over Friday night, you know, stayed the night. You know, we were having such a great time. As always, don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Or just stay your ass where you're at. Uh-oh, who is that they're carrying off to the locker room? That's not good. But yeah, dude, waking up the next morning we hung out at my place Friday night. Waking up the next morning, dude, it was, I mean, there's like a chicken running around the house, the like a tiger locked in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Somebody was missing a tooth. It's just, it wasn't that drastic. Obviously I'm being dramatic, but it's just funny to wake up to the state of your house the next day after. I mean, dude, there's like White Claw cans just crushed and sprawled everywhere all over the counter. I mean, cigarette boxes and, pizza boxes. And I think Friday night I ended up getting like DoorDashing like El Phoenix or something. And I gotta say, man, with El Phoenix, it seems like I'm not paying $13 for an enchilada plate, but they actually do hook it up. They send the enchilada plate. It was delicious. And then they send like a bag of chips with salsa too. And it's like, okay, not every place does that. That makes it more worth it. So yeah, they send a bag of chips and, that's just out on the counter like all night. So throughout the night, as you're getting a little snacky and drinking and stuff, naturally you're just grabbing a handful of chips and like moving through. So the next day, it was like the scene in E.T. whenever he's laid out all those Reese's Pieces on the ground. I was basically E.T. like in that situation, like cleaning up the house. I was just following the trail of chips. Like I don't remember grabbing a handful of chips and going and laying in bed, but there's a big ass pile of tortilla chips in my bed. I can't lay down without crunching. So yeah, it's just funny. And then Saturday night, we she stayed the night, like I said. And let me throw this out there too. I'm so fucking proud of my friends for making good choices like that. Like choosing not to drink and drive. Like that's the one thing I've said consistently on this show for 7, almost 8 years. I've said it on every episode. Don't drink and drive, blah, blah, blah. There's too many resources. It's a stupid thing, whatever I've said. But I'm so damn proud of my friends for actually it's easy to be like, no, I got it. Oh, I'm right up the street. It's no big deal, but it's really just not worth it. For example, like she had to get up early and like go do something the next morning, like Saturday morning. So, I mean, it's like she still covered her responsibilities without, risking anything. And I love that. Like I said, I'm so proud of my friends, and like vice versa. When I go play music over at her place, it's like she always offers me a place to stay. It's just a nice, comforting thing. And I really am, like any friends that I have that are listening right now, I'm really proud that I can say that we are doing those things and not being too proud to just say, you know what, maybe tonight's not a good night for me to drive. Maybe I did have a little too much, because the cops are out there waiting, bro. It doesn't matter if you got a 5-minute drive or an hour drive. They're out there. They know what Friday nights are about. They know what Saturday nights are about. They're trying to get that, clean up the streets, whatever. They're out there waiting for you. So it's like, why even risk it? But yeah, I just had to throw that out there, man. I'm not just blowing smoke up the listener's ass that I've never met before. I'm not just saying it because I think, it sounds cool to say. I really mean it, and I really implement it in my life. And like I said, I'm so proud that my friends do also. But yeah, one of the things we were doing, I love to do this, man. Like I'm on, one of the dating apps or whatever, and Sid's just like, can I look, at the app? And, I've only seen it from a female's perspective. I've never seen it from a male's perspective. I want to see kind of what the profiles look like and pictures and, just kind of get a vibe for it. And so I love doing this. This isn't the first time I've done it, but when she was over here and we're, goofing off or whatever and sipping on some claws, there ain't no law when you're drinking the claw. That's not true. Don't go by that. That's not legal advice. I'm just somebody rambling on a podcast having drinks. But anyway, so yeah, I like to do this game to where she's, she kind of lets me know if she thinks I'm going to swipe right or swipe left, or I'm just kind of on the fence about it. And I got to say, man, she was pretty accurate. She was pretty spot on. I mean, the profiles that you can tell immediately that she knows me pretty well. She knows I'm not going to be into it. She'll call them out real quick and be like, no, you're not going to like her. And then I'll look at it and be like, yeah, you're right. Swipe left on that one. And then the next one comes up. She's like, oh, man, you're going to like her. Da, da, da. And it's just a fun game. It's just fun to see what people think you like. You know what I mean? So naturally, we started talking about, dating experiences and experiences on the app. And it's really a form of entertainment, I guess out of the ones I've been on over the years, honestly, Bumble's kind of one of the newer ones. Tinder's been around for a good while. Bumble came out later. But in terms of average, who I've met people off of, which app I've met people off of for a date the most, is probably Bumble, oddly enough. You would think with Tinder just being around so long, it would just, everybody would flock to that. But I guess the Bumble thing kind of makes women feel more comfortable with the whole dating app thing, and they don't have to commit if they don't want to. They're not getting random, dick pics on the app. I don't know if you can do that on Bumble. I can't remember. But yeah, it's just the whole thing, man, the whole dating world. So yeah, we're just talking about that and, our good times, our bad times. I actually wrote a short little story on Twitter, if you want to go follow me over there, about, it was one of the most epic entrances to a bar I had ever made. So go check that out. It's actually a pretty funny read. It's really short. It's probably only one paragraph long, but it's still really funny. Go check that out at Drink Until You. But yeah, it's had a great freaking weekend, man. I needed that. I really did. It's not that anything bad happened over the week. It's just, when you're grinding and you're just showing up and putting in the effort, that Friday comes along and you just want to hang out with some friends and just goof off. And that's what we've done all weekend. I'm actually going to see if she has the energy, if she wants to come, do a little mini party today, something small, we don't have to go hard. Maybe a little recovery party. We'll drink, what do you call those? Bloody Marys, What's a good food to eat when you're hungover? They always say greasy food. But yeah, anyways, great weekend so far. Lots of sports. We're going to get into that here in a minute. Let's go ahead and have another drink. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. All right. Moving on to the NFL. As I mentioned in the intro, I am watching the Cowboys-Giants game. It's not bad. Not a bad game so far. Coming off of last week, I mean, you guys heard the opinion last week. We actually played really good. We're hanging in there with the Giants currently. There's one play, in that second quarter, where there's five or six penalties in one play that just basically all... what's the word I'm looking for? They basically counteracted each other, making nothing of it, But yeah, it's really weird to see Russell Wilson and, there's some players when they go to a new team, it's like the new uniform either looks natural or it doesn't. And I totally forgot until today that the Giants have Russell Wilson. And just seeing him in that uniform, it looks weird. You know what I mean? It's not very fitting. Now, on the flip side of that coin, oddly enough, ex-Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers is now playing in Pittsburgh. And oddly enough, that uniform looks natural on him, which is odd to say. It's probably more odd to say that since he spent so many years... his face with the Green Bay Packers uniform is synonymous, you know what I mean? But for him to move over to Pittsburgh now and see him in that uniform, it's like it looks like he's always been there. It's kind of strange how that works, you know. And they were talking about the Giants actually going after Aaron Rodgers, actually going after Stafford, you know, to try to get a quarterback for this coming up season. And they end up with Russell Wilson, which, I mean, Russell Wilson's not a horrible quarterback by any means. But you can obviously tell what the Giants are thinking, you know, to have Aaron Rodgers back there, whether you like him or not, which I actually just really don't. He's a good quarterback, man. Like, you can't ever take that away from him. So, yeah, it's kind of weird to see Wilson in that uniform. And I'm excited. This is like one of the only times it's from all those years of trying to get into college football and watching college football teams, which I actually didn't even pick one this season. I'm just kind of over it at this point, you know. But the one thing I do have to hang on to is my last team that I picked last season was Ole Miss. And their quarterback, Jackson Dart, is now the backup for the New York Giants. And I really enjoyed watching Dart play. You know, other than the controversial shit that Ole Miss was doing, which was basically like anytime the other team would get any sort of momentum, it's like Ole Miss would somehow magically have a hurt player for the next 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like if the other team's driving down on them, it's like, oh, somebody pulled a hamstring. Hold on, stop the game. Everybody catch your breath. You know, it's like that was bullshit, and that kind of pissed me off. But the silver lining is I got to know who Jackson Dart was, which I think, Prescott just threw an interception, 13-10. New York takes over third quarter. Yeah, but I mean, I kind of have a prediction for Jackson Dart that he's just the way he plays, the way I know he can throw. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to have an amazing career, and I never make that prediction because I don't watch enough college football to know who's coming up in the ranks. But I happen to know Jackson Dart, so yeah, I wish him the best of luck. You know, obviously they're going to continue to play my Cowboys. I don't want him to do well against my team, but it would be kind of, you know, satisfactory to watch Dart have an amazing career. You know what I mean? Like, that would be really cool to watch him from that early on. But yeah, I mean, the Cowboys, you know, with that interception, it's like, dude, I'm not even sweating it, to be honest with you, this season. My expectations are so low that if we lose by 3 or 10, I'm going to be like, yeah, we played a good game. That's like how low I think, like, we're, you know, hopefully I'm wrong. I'd love to be proved wrong. You know, I feel like, you know, people a lot of time, oh, you're not a real fan. Oh, you're not, because I talk shit on my team. And it's like, no, that makes me the realest fan. Because I'm talking shit on you because I want you to be good. You know what I mean? I'm talking shit on you because I want, I don't know, I want you to hear the words of the fans until you go, fuck, we need to do something different. You know, Dak Prescott throwing an interception, big whoop. It's not like we're not going to see that all season. I know it's coming. You know, and I'm happy to be pleasantly surprised. You know, I'm happy with any of my Dallas sports team that I've ever, Dallas Stars I'm thinking of mainly. Because there's certain players or certain situations or certain scenarios I've just trashed on this podcast, but it's all in hopes of, you know, having a better future. Maybe I'm not the only one seeing this. Maybe management is seeing it too. Maybe if enough of us fans band together and go, what the fuck, man? You know? Why did you trade Luka, you dumb fuck? You know, like maybe if enough of us do that, it'll be heard. And I know that's not the way to do it. Honestly, the way to do it is to just speak with your wallet. That's really what us fans have. If you stop buying the merch and you stop subscribing and you stop doing all that shit, you stop reading all the stories and stop giving it all the attention, you know, I think naturally there's just only one way to come up, you know, to gain our attention back, and that's by winning, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's our only voice, dude. Like as fans, is to speak with our wallets or speak with our platforms or social medias and whatever, But I will happily, proudly be open and honest about what I think about my teams. That doesn't mean I'm not a fan. I don't see if I wasn't. It's like that thing they say, if you didn't care, you wouldn't say anything. You know what I mean? Like if it really didn't bother you, you'd just be like, yeah, Cowboys lose today. All right. Anyways, in other news, but I do care. And, I've said this a million times growing up. The days we got to take off of school, 2 years in a row, skip a year, then the next year to go to Super Bowl parades. I was like, dude, this football thing, dude, we got to figure it out. Like we're going to be this way forever. And we just weren't. We haven't been, Jerry's been chasing that Jimmy Johnson ghost for years. So anyways, that's a little bit around the NFL. I believe this is one of the first games of the day. I hope every other team loses today. I wish you all the worst of luck. And let's go ahead and have another drink. Cheers, everybody. And let me go ahead and throw this out there, since I did touch on slightly a little bit of college football. I hope every college football team loses every game this season too. There we go. Now let's make everybody mad. That's not possible. I mean, you got to have a winner. They don't let ties happen. But if it were possible, I would wish that on every team. I don't care. UT, I don't give a shit about the Longhorns. I don't give a shit about A&M. I don't give a shit about Texas Tech. I hope you all lose. There's some school spirit for you. Anyways, moving on, UFC. The UFC's event did happen last night. That was awesome, amazing, wonderful. My boy Diego Lopez pulling it out. What's that other guy's name? Was it Silva? He was fighting last night. Dude, he tried like 4 spinning back elbows on Lopez. And the single one that Lopez tried, it basically ended the fight. That's where the fight ended. And there was actually a little bit of bad blood after that main event, which was, kind of shocking to see. As many times as you see 2 dudes beat the shit out of each other, or one guy beat the shit out of another guy, and then they get up and shake hands and embrace. This is very abnormal, what Silva did after the fight. He was so pissed it got stopped. Lopez was walking around the octagon with his arms raised, in victory. And what's his name? Silva ends up pushing him in the back because he's pissed. They stop the fight. It kind of starts this whole thing. Everybody starts coming into the octagon. There's a big brawl about to happen, it looked like. Luckily, nothing happened, and they did embrace moments later. They go to commercial break, and then they come back to announce who won. And, they hugged after that. It was all good. But, yeah, that little bit of bad sportsmanship in that moment, it's like you just got to – I don't know how the guys do it. I don't know how they get the shit beat out of them and then they hug each other. I'm not a professional fighter. I don't think I would take it well losing. That's probably why I'm not a professional fighter. But, not to say I would do anything bad after the fight after losing. I wouldn't. You just got to take your lumps. But I would be very upset. I don't know if I could shake the other guy's hand. I'd be like, fuck you. Kind of like Silva did. But you don't see that often from pro fighters, and he actually did that. Pushed him in the back because he was pissed about the fight. But Lopez comes out on top. And I will say, dude, Lopez is a little lucky last night because I think his name was Silva. Dude, I'm going to be so pissed if I look this up right now and his last name's not Silva. UFC main event. Silva. Okay, I knew I had his name right. That's one I can pronounce. But yeah, Silva was all over him, man. He was hitting him with some shots. The thing that busted Silva open was he ended up on bottom of Lopez, and Lopez was doing those where they call them 12-6 elbows, which is just like so fucking brutal. But it was landing on top of Silva's head, Silva's bald head, and it just busted him open. It's not anything that's like, worth stopping a fight over. Those cuts usually happen when they're around the eyes, sometimes the mouth, depending on how bad it is. But yeah, so he cuts him open with those elbows, and then they keep going at it. So it looks like Silva's losing the fight, but in my honest opinion, if Lopez doesn't catch him with that spinning back elbow and it goes to decision, Silva would have won that fight, which kind of makes me worry. I love Lopez, dude. Like, I really do. Diego Lopez, like, since I've been watching him come up, like, he's really excited me as a fighter. And I just got to say, last night, man, he did not look great. I want to say he got a little lucky pulling that victory out. His shot landed. Silva's 4 that he tried before didn't. It takes a little bit of luck in the game, I know, but I feel like the fight before Lopez had, obviously he lost that one. The 2 before that one that he lost, those seem to be like his peak performances, in my opinion. Like, he just looked all over it, like unstoppable. Last night, I could have totally seen, Silva rocked him with some shots, dude. If he clips him the perfect way at the perfect time, we could be saying Silva won today very easily. So just with me saying that, it's like, that's not a dominant performance by Lopez. I know he was excited. But yeah, he's got to reach that peak form that he had fights back, because that's the only way he's going to excel. Silva, if they did a rematch, I can almost guarantee Silva would beat him. Or maybe this was a rematch. I actually don't know. But if they did another fight, like, Silva is just a little bit smarter. That's the bad part about ego, dude, is like that. There's a fine line with it. You could tell Silva came in with some pride and some ego, just with his facial expressions. He's kind of like smirking and shit. But it's like, those are the same things that, kind of fuck you in the end of the fight, because you're a little too overconfident. He's like in the octagon talking shit to Lopez while they're going. It's like, that's all ego, dude. Like, if he might be a better fighter if he could put that aside, if he could humble himself and know that, I could win, I could lose this fight, I'm going to win. That's different than just, and that's what was so upsetting when he did end up losing the fight, was his ego couldn't let him go. Couldn't let it go. His ego is telling him that you're winning this fight. This dude doesn't have anything for you. And he almost proved it. But Lopez got that spinning back elbow, and once he got Silva down, he just pounded him until the ref was like, all right, no more. And Silva was a bloody mess after that last ground and pound, so he was taking some shots for sure. But if I were Diego Lopez, I wouldn't be feeling too confident, because Diego Lopez could have very easily got knocked out with the shots he ate last night. I would much rather see a fighter evade the shots than have a good chin. You know what I mean? Like, it helps to have a good chin, and that's cool, but I'd rather you be evasive and not take those shots and work down your opponent psychologically. Like, that's what I really like the strategy side of it. So, anyways, that's a little bit of the UFC. To touch on a little bit of baseball, my goodness gracious. My Texas Rangers are just, the Mets, we go into the Mets stadium, and I believe the Mets had just dropped 4 to the Phillies. That's right. They just dropped 4 to the Phillies, and my friend is a Phillies fan, so we're constantly talking Phillies baseball and who they're playing and all this and that. So I'm thinking, okay, the Mets just dropped 4 to the Phillies. They're going to come into this series with my Rangers and be fucking pissed, like hungry for a win. And the Rangers have taken 2 games from them already. I'm just, you don't know what to think about this team. It's like that cheesy thing they always say, it's not over until it's over. And that's absolutely true. You know, a lot of the teams I'm watching are actually playing really well right now. I know it doesn't make a shit, but the White Sox are playing well. It does make a shit. Detroit is playing well. They're the tops of their division. My Texas Rangers playing well. Seattle Mariners still playing well. I would say out of us three, Rangers, Mariners, and Astros, the Astros are struggling the most right now, which makes it better for us. I mean, they're tops of the division right now, you know, so it's like if Seattle and Texas keep playing this way, it's going to be a battle between us for that division spot or, you know, just the wild card spot, which is, you know, better than nothing. It's better to squeak into the playoffs than not make it at all. I'll take that. But now, you know, we got the young kids. They're calling them the Little Rascals. Well, I say young. These dudes are like 30, but they aren't MLB players. You know, they've been called up to play in the MLB due to all our injuries. But they call them the Little Rascals. And, dude, they're like handling up, man. Hellman is doing an amazing job. I mean, Langford's still doing his Langford things. He's not a call-up, but... and now... Garcia is back. I think we have one more today against the Mets, and then Garcia is going to be back today, and then for the next series, which I believe is against the Astros. And I see a lot of people online. They're like, just hold off on bringing back Garcia, and I kind of agree. Just wait. Let him be sure he's fully healed and comfortable, and let these younger. I keep saying younger. Let these lesser known players. All right, touchdown Cowboys. Nicely done, Williams. Let these lesser-known players just keep rolling. If they're on fire right now, that's what we need. And I'm not saying Adolis is like a cancer or anything. He's not. But you don't want to mess up the chemistry. You know what I mean? If we're going to keep rolling and we can keep using this momentum to get us to the playoffs, that's absolutely what we need to do. But yeah, I mean, if Adolis just goes off and is like 3 for 4 today, I mean, what can you say? You'll be like, all right, well, cool. He didn't mess anything up. He added to it. That's what you want. That's what you want to see. But anyways, yeah, go follow me I'm building the YouTube page at Drink Until You Podcast. I'm just uploading. I'm clip dumping this weekend, dude. I just have so many excess clips I got to get rid of. Like, my storage space is out on the Microsoft, I guess the Xbox app. You only get a limited amount of storage space, and that's all full. I saved clip after clip. So I'm clip dumping this weekend. Go watch some of my clips. Go follow me over there on YouTube. I've gained about, 5 to 10 followers in the past month, which is cool. You know, it's cool to see some people liking what I'm putting out there. My favorite comment, this comment gets the Golden Mug Award. I posted a little clip of me scoring a Rocket League goal, you know, and it was an average goal. It wasn't anything amazing. And the comment I got on there, this is the comment of the week. It just said, "This is trash." Which really made me laugh. I'm like, okay, well, all right. It's your opinion, but I love it. It's kind of funny, you know, straight to the point. I can respect that. You watched the clip and you thought to yourself, "This is trash," and then you typed it. Okay, I can take criticism, people. It actually kind of makes me laugh. I want to know why you think it's trash, but I think explaining it to me might just kind of lose the humor for me. So yeah, just leave the comment. "This is trash." Pretty funny. But yeah, go follow me over there. I don't care if you talk shit. I'm going to talk shit right back. I don't care if you support me. I'll support you right back. You know, I give what I get. So yeah, go follow me over there. Best comment I've got so far was that. So anyways, let's go ahead and finish these off. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. All right, that's going to do it for me. Thank you all for listening. As always, that was cold. Don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Stay over at your friend's place. Don't be so proud. Don't be so prideful. You know, give up the keys. It's okay. Live another day. Stay out of jail. Stay out of the morgue. But yeah, don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Treat yourself to a DoorDash, a Waymo, an Uber Eats, whatever you gotta do. Call your mama, call your daddy, call your cousin to come pick you up. Just be safe out there. Crazy to think, episode number 400 next week. But I will talk to you all then. And be safe. I love you all. Bye.